Can you give any examples of new concepts that provide historical immersion?
Yeah, there's plenty of examples here. We've been trying to... What we've learned in our recent games like Rome and EU3 and Nomine and so on is that immersion is everything. So what we've done is that to make sure that every tech for the major powers have basically unique names. We have different party names. You have, depending on which different country you play, you have different skins and different colors. There's even different music styles that are playing depending on which country types you're playing. It's all about creating the historical immersion so that you feel it's really, really different playing the Soviet Union compared to Germany.
Do you have any plans for expansion packs?
Well, that depends really. I mean, the game needs to sell, so we think it's worth money doing expansions. But usually we do not plan to do any. We don't plan any content for expansion until about 5 to 6 months after release. We really need to look at what the customers would really want for an expansion. As an example, when we did Napoleon's Ambition for EU3, we pretty much took like every single feature that we added to that expansion was from what people requested on the forums.
We talked about your forum and your community. What features do you think that those gamers will like the most?
That's hard to tell. Either they will love our new combat system, which have these different frontages and different types of reinforcements or so, or they may be like real advanced strategy players that you know the old saying, amateurs study tactics, experts study logistics. I think our players will really, really love the logistic systems we have in our game. That is the most advanced and realistic and most fun logistic system in a game ever. As an example, logistics and supplies and fuel has a huge network over the game depending on the infrastructure you have, the needs of your units, depending if you're offensive. Resources are shifted around on the map depending on what you want and what you need. It's handled abstractly by the player, not really something he controls immediately by shipping it, but the game handles it for him depending on his needs, and this really has impacts on what type of offensives you can do in your game.
So Hearts of Iron 3, any changes in multiplayer?
Since we're running now on our new Clausewitz engine, since EU3, it has a completely new multiplayer engine, which is much more stable than the original Hearts of Iron 2, much more forgiving on which type of ports and what you need to do to be able to play it. It runs fully cooperational multiplayer, supports internet, LAN, or through our own new matchmaking server.
You mentioned that you were trying to make the game more accessible. Can you give a few examples more?
Some of the two major things. First of all, we're working hard on making a decent tutorial that explains the game. Secondly, we have something we call quick starts. The quick starts make so that you can just pick, there's 4 starts in the game where you can play like Germany and just worry about war and just conquer Poland, and then you have like quick starts for starting as USA and just worry about production or so on. Other things we've been working on is also to give AI control to various aspects. If you want to play and don't want to worry about production or intelligence, you can just let the AI handle them and you're just focusing on a smaller part of the game.
What do you personally feel makes Hearts of Iron 3 unique among strategy games?
It's the only true grand strategy game in World War II. Everything else is on a much lower level in complexity. It's also unique in that most of these games are making them to abstracted types like turn-based and so on, which you can't really do if you want to have a serious war game, because then you miss like one of the most key aspects, the word when, in a strategy game. It's also unique in that it's the only grand strategy game that actually takes into account things like politics, production, technology, diplomacy, logistics, intelligence, and so on.
What can you tell me about modding possibilities?
In Hearts Iron 3, which runs on the Clausewitz engine, is even more customizable than what the Hearts Iron modders are used to. Everything is basically run through text files that are completely customizable. The map is also created out of bitmaps, so a modder can basically do whatever he wants. Another key aspect is that most of the AI is also written in Lua, so AI modders can code their own AI. A few things that people complain about a lot in Hearts Iron 2 and Hearts Iron 1 was that there was a lot of work to deploy new troops after you built them. Now you have an option of when you build something to have it auto-deployed, and the AI will then deploy it when it thinks it's best. You also have the option to see what every theater in your country is needing in troops, and then you can just click build, and the units will be built according to what that theater will need, and then that theater will automatically get those troops assigned to those where it's needed on the map. Hearts Iron 3 will be released in August this year. We also plan to have a demo out in, I don't know exactly when, but it should be about the release date so that you can actually try the game. We also hope that you will really love Hearts Iron 3 because we love it ourselves at the team.